they're done.
Yeah.
So as you can see, another busted N54. So we're fairly certain it's just the turbos that went bye-bye, sayonara, adios muchachos. We've got some upgraded twins we're gonna install, so stay tuned and we'll show you what we're working with. He's gonna f***ing die. He's gonna f***ing die. So here we have a 2009 BMW 135 with the wastegates rattling like maracas. Now, it started smoking and it's been rattling for some time, so we're gonna sit down, unbox, and see what we've got to install. Okay, so he had ordered VIV, are they like engineering, VIV racing?
It's Viv Racing, yeah.
Viv something turbochargers from Turbo Technics Limited, Too Sketty Close something UK. Anyways, VIV Racing or something turbos, they seem to be relatively popular nowadays with the N54 crowd. Of course, they are off eBay, but it does look like they were balanced in the UK, which is actually interesting. So they were balanced to 120,000 RPM. Yeah, wow. Most places don't go that high, but let's take a peek. So between the 135, 335, and 535, there are going to be differences in the orientation of the turbos. So I'm hoping these are oriented for the 135. Otherwise, we could have some fitment issues.
Looks pretty good, actually.
Yeah, it doesn't look that bad. I mean, it's full of oil. That's kind of annoying. You gotta clean everything off before you actually go to put it in. So I think what I'll do is I'll just, before I go to put it in, I'm gonna check the wastegates. Oh, there isn't that much play in these. Seems like a lot of play through the actual rod. I don't know how much is normal for there to be in and out play for the actual wastegate itself, but it seems to seal flat, so it should be okay. So far they look all right. I mean, there's a bunch of paint marks on the wastegate and on the V-band for the cartridge, so they might be all right. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna test these with Mighty Vac. So I'm gonna pull a vacuum on the actuator because these work backwards to a conventional turbo. So the wastegate closes when you pull a vacuum, and it needs to be within a certain range. And of course I'll double check exactly what that range is. We're gonna pull a vacuum until I see the actuator stop moving, and then ensure that the wastegates are both matching and within spec. Of course, this is the front turbo here. I'd show you the rear turbo. They look identical. It's just flipped to 180. So not much to see. They're not the biggest things ever, but at the same time, they do look, at least on the backside, like they're a tiny bit bigger. I think they're, what, the equivalent of a 17T. So they're meant to be a stage 1 turbo kind of deal. So they'll still do probably around 500 wheel.
People have still been able to get these up to 600 horse.
Motor or wheel?
Wheel. Yeah.
600 wheel would be quite good. So we're gonna package this one up and put it to the side until we're ready for it. I think it's tradition. Step 1, stare at it and contemplate life choices. And step 2, do it, I dare you. Oh! So first thing we start with is putting the car up on the quick jacks. I kind of call them slow jacks since it takes a while to get them set up properly. But once it's up, we start to double team the car. Taylor starts unbolting things up top, and I go from underneath to actually look at the skid plates, remove them, and of course, lo and behold, N54 things, and I start to see a bunch of oil leaks, which was pretty disgusting. Rear main, turbos, front main, oil filter housing, valve cover, just to name a few. It was an absolute disaster underneath. That being said, we started by draining the coolant right at the water pump, and of course draining the oil itself. Now when we drained the oil, it looked a little bit dark and messy and gross, but again, we put it out of mind since we were going to put fresh fluids in, so we journeyed on. Okay, so beginning of day 2. YouTube, please don't strike us. That was not violence. There was no intention of violence.
I'm over the age of 18. No child abuse.
No child abuse? Yeah. today's gonna be the start of ripping the turbos off. So up here, we ended up taking out the pod filters and this is all just kind of loose. So we're gonna move these up and out of the way so we can pull the front inlet off and start with that. So first things first, I'm gonna pull the downpipes off just because I didn't get to those yesterday. So one of them's leaking a bit, so I have a feeling it's gonna leak everywhere. And I kind of want to see which turbo is giving the noise of the problem. So gonna rip out these downpipes and go from there. Where is it? Oh God. Oh Lord. Oh Lord, he coming. Holy f, that's a lot of oil. Look at that. Look at the back of that. It stinks.
It's made like its own
Everything's oily.
filter.
Everything I touch is soaked.
Oh, these
in
O2s
oil.
are toast.
Are they black?
Oh yeah. Here, I'll see if I can show the camera the O2.
This is bad.
They are toast.
This is really bad. Okay, I'm gonna pull the front, the rear downpipe out, so give me a second. Taylor, do you wanna grab my pen light? I kinda wanna look at to see it. Oh, Jesus. I wanna take a look at the turbos to see which one's having the problem. It looks like it might be the front. Holy crap.
What?
I don't see the wheel. Oh, hold on, I know it's there. It looks like a ball. Can you hear that?
What is that, the wastegate?
No, that's the rear wheel.
Huh?
That's the rear wheel. It looks like it's so messed up, it looks like a ball. Here, you go under here and take a look at it and take a picture of it.
Okay.
I'll leave the light here.
Oh yeah, I guess I got clean hands.
Yeah. Bye.
Meow.
Ooh, that was kind of quick. Yeah, you have to kind of like tip up and be able to see into it.
What the f?
Right?
Dude, I've never seen that.
It's a ball.
I don't get it.
I don't know. You know, if there's that much play on the rear, I bet, man, I don't want to pull the front.
I thought you were screwing with the wastegate. I didn't realize that was the wheel.
It does sound like wastegate.
It's like a fidget spinner.
Yeah, kinda. Okay, I want to pull the front inlet because if the rear is that bad, it chewed up the front, guaranteed.
Do you want to pry it off the turbo?
Yeah, but it's, well, hold on. It's sort of off, so give it a little poke. Hold on. Okay, nope. I think I got it. Okay, hold on. It's just stuck around this AC line. What the f was that?
Did you bust a clip?
No. I don't know what the f it was.
What the f?
What's that? What the f is that?
Well, it's not yours. You don't use that.
No, it's a Torx bit.
What
Wait a
else
minute.
is that?
No, come on. That didn't just fall out of the inlet, did it?
Well, there's that. There's this.
No.
And that wouldn't have made a noise.
No, it sounded like a bit or like a rock or something.
Dude, there's nothing under here.
But I don't use these. Okay, so this is a little bit screwed up. This actually seems like it just fell out of the inlet. So the weird thing is this is a Torx T27. I don't use these. Like what I use, let me see if I can find one.
Well, your 27 is sitting on the bench.
Right here.
Yeah.
Like I use these for the end of a socket. These I don't because they drop and everything. But that came out of the inlet. Do you want to maybe put your phone in there and see what the front wheel looks like?
Can you pull that inlet all the way out so I can get my
Yeah,
phone?
hold on. I gotta get it from around the AC. Oh, hold on.
Dude. Put your hand on that.
On what? The wheel?
Yeah.
There's not a lot of play. No, there's play.
That's a lot of play.
Hold on. Where's the blades?
I'll stick my camera in there. Here.
Hold on, where are the blades? No. There's a lot of play, but I can feel the ridge, but no blades. Yeah, put a camera in there. What the hell?
Dude, I've never seen that.
What the f?
I've never seen that.
The nut's no longer a nut. Do you want to grab that inlet? I have a bad feeling there's gonna be like dust and crap in there. Where's the tube off the front of the turbo?
Oh, dude, it's just metal. Is the gasket in there still? On the turbo?
Yeah, I got it here. I don't know if it's gonna show on the... Like, look at all the metal. Look at this. Look at this chunk.
Poor thing. Look at the inlet.
So the same thing. Yeah, there's just metal dust everywhere. So, I mean, Taylor, I'm sure you already understand, but for those watching. So when a turbo essentially grinds the wheel to nothing, all of that dust goes out through the intake system, through the outlets. It'll generally get stuck on whatever oil film is throughout the piping itself and throughout the intercooler. But then it would go up to the charge pipe, through the intake manifold, and essentially be ingested into the engine, and metal is never good anywhere. So I actually want to check one thing. Yeah, like look at those big ones in the throttle body. Okay, so this motor definitely ate metal. So we drain the oil, and typically we change the filter because we need to, when you remove the turbos, the oil drains are going to be below the oil level. So because this is loose, we're going to pull the filter, and I actually want to take a peek just inside the oil filter housing to see if there's stripper glitter 3.0. So let me just check. I don't want to look at this. I really don't want to look at this.
Oh, dude.
It's all over the filter.
Look at the oil in the...
Oh my God. So if you actually look through there, you'll actually see where there's a bunch of bearing material. Now, that's way more than just blown turbos. Like, that's actual material that's gone through the engine and likely chewed up the actual rod bearings. So there's tons of material, even inside the coolant overflow reservoir thing. Hopefully it'll end up picking it up. Yeah. So I'm gonna have to talk to the owner to see what he wants to do, because I know he's without a car, and this, I'm not comfortable changing turbos for it to the bed in a week or a year. I mean, it could go 1,000 kilometers, it could go 30,000 kilometers, but I don't want to put my name to something like that. So I guess to get into finer details is when you have bearing material that goes through the engine, it's basically a ticking time bomb. So at some point it'll score and damage the rod bearings, and you could eventually spin a bearing, and once you spin a bearing, you're gonna run the severe risk of damaging the rods, the crank, and everything else. So it goes from maybe cleaning it out and throwing new bearings in it to a massive rebuild. But I think what I keep trying to, or I keep forgetting, is how the that bit wound up in the inlet in the first place. It just ground it to dust and ground it to nothing. And I don't know, this is why I always swear by and stress about putting blue rag into anything so you can't drop it. And that's why I don't like using those bits, because you could drop one into an inlet and you'd be none the wiser, and it could sit there for 6 months. Like, he's actually driven it like this for years, and eventually it just makes its way into the turbo and it just gets chewed up, and that's it. So we'll see what he wants to do with it. But for now, if you want to see more N54 carnage, I guess feel free to like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. Just whipping my gloves.
Hey, Tony.
Who the hell put yellow X's on a yellow jug?
Question is, am I the dip or you the dip? But it's definitely one of us. Okay, I'm gonna crack the cap.
Okay. Oh my God, Taylor!
I told you I was gonna crack the cap.
I didn't think it was gonna fucking give me a facial.
Hand me a river.
I was about to do the same fucking thing. I was gonna say, hand me a rag before I grab myself a river.